Welcome to the QB Huddle Podcast. I am Tim, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host Lauren Lowe at Fourth and Low on TikTok, and Brandon B. Newey on TikTok. How are y'all doing today, fellas? We're produced by New Era Media. We are syndicated on allaccessfootball.com, and we are in partnership with FanStream Sports. Please hit that subscribe button to get all of the content. Last Sunday, there's only one stands and heads to San Francisco. And that congratulations to you and to your New England Patriots, sir. How does it feel to 7 years later after Tom Brady is gone to be back in the Super Bowl?
Hey, man. Sorry. Got to put my hair up. I was rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? I was over here jamming out, still from this win, trying to figure out how we're going to beat these Seahawks in this Super Bowl. It feels great, bro. I'd have to say the feeling is it was almost gone. You know what I mean? And you really don't. Everyone's different. So as a fan, Super Bowls are like, you know what I mean? Like you're there. And in the beginning of the year, you didn't know you would be. You hoped you would be, and all that fun stuff. But as a fan, it's good. It's not so far gone for me. It's great, man. It's great. Patriots. Y'all are Patriots fans too. I told you last week.
No.
Oh, we Patriots fans this bowl. Absolutely.
We are not. We are not Patriots fans. Tom Brady doesn't play for the Patriots. I'm not cheering for the Patriots.
Big Patriots fan.
No matter what. Brandon is, because obviously he doesn't want his division foe to go to the Super Bowl. For me, the Bears lost to the Rams, who lost to Seattle. So at least by proxy, if Seattle wins the Super Bowl, that says something good about the Chicago Bears, in my opinion.
Listen, it's not about Seattle going to the Super Bowl. It's the fact they're going to the Super Bowl at our stadium. They cannot win.
Ouch. I didn't even think about that.
No. Absolutely not.
No.
But hey, they got a great team. Salute to them.
Not rooting for Seattle. You don't like the Sam Darnold story?
I love the Sam Darnold story. As a USC Trojan fan, man, I've watched his career. I'm supportive. I want him to do great, but you can't win this one. Please don't. Please.
All right.
Please.
I got you. We're going to recap the games. I know the script says we're only going to recap one game. That's not true. I think our person, whoever does this, must have been sleepy when he wrote this. That's me. And so, obviously we want to talk about both games. Both games deserve their credit. Before we do so, we didn't know this would happen, but we have breaking news this morning. If you are not on your phone or, living in a cave somewhere and just tuned into our show, Joe Brady this morning has been named the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. He's been the offensive coordinator there for years. None of us on this panel agree that they should have fired McDermott because honestly, it was the GM probably needed to go. But now you take an in-house guy, Brandon, the offensive coordinator. Obviously, him and Josh have a good relationship, but an in-house guy now becomes the head coach. So now your offensive coordinator, which offense struggled in the last game and have a history of struggling in playoffs, you take your offensive coordinator and make him the head of the whole thing. I don't know that this is a good move. Where are you at with this?
I mean, keep it in-house. I feel like the move could be good for the offense. We forget Joe Brady is a offensive mastermind. He worked with Joe Burrow and the whole LSU team during that time, where they're quoted one of the greatest college football teams of all time. Then he made his way to help Josh Allen. Now, granted, he has in that offensive, he's won the MVP, regardless of how many people feel about that MVP. It's like a little asterisk on it, in my opinion. But, I mean, keep it in-house, keep the flow going with the offense, really cater to Josh. If you look at all these quarterbacks now, they have those offensive wizards behind them. And so, to help influence Josh to, get things done more defensively, they're gonna lose some because McDermott was a defensive guy. And I think they really need to retool with that. Who they get at D coordinator, not sure, but I mean, shit, nobody wanted to get this job apparently. So to make Joe Brady the OC or the head coach, I don't see a problem with it at this time.
Yeah, you say no one wanted the job.
No one wanted his job, apparently.
Outside looking in, we saw the owner of the Buffalo Bills come on last week and honestly come off like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs a little bit, throwing wide receivers under the bus, throwing coaching staffs under the bus. You get rid of the guy after a playoff game, feels like a knee-jerk reaction. And he said, I fired him because Josh Allen was crying in the locker room. That seems odd. Do you want to take that job if it's offered? Or do we think in-house was probably the only way to go for Buffalo, and do you like the move?
I think in-house was the only way to go. And I don't care if they go in-house. I would worry if more of one of those stronger leaders came in and tried to rebrand. And if they want to keep spinning the same wheel, which I think they can, you just got to buy into Josh Allen. So this might be a Josh Allen move. This is hey, I didn't want to see him go, but if I have to, this guy is who I want in charge. Then you bring in a defensive guy or move some things around to see who coaches where, and it could be unique. You got a unique situation with Josh Allen, so who knows how the coaching goes at the NFL level. But I would say as long as the hats are worn by the right people.
There he is. How about this idea? And this idea just like creeped into my mind, but Phillip Rivers was there to interview to be the head coach. What if Phillip Rivers comes back and he is the Eric Bieniemy to Joe Brady, right? Like Eric Bieniemy is to Andy Reid. And what if it's Phillip Rivers that comes in and starts to corral, put his arms around Josh Allen and tame that wild stallion? And does that help get the Bills to the next level? I think yes. So if I'm Joe Brady, my first call, Phillip Rivers. How you doing, buddy? Why don't you come back?
I think they need a defensive guy. He needs to get on the phone and call.
You need a defensive guy, man.
Guys.
Well, did the defensive coordinator get fired? I'm just saying, from an offensive standpoint, you need somebody in the room, right?
I mean, McDermott probably took his guy somewhere else. I mean, you got to establish your own coaching staff and who's going to, be able to replace that guy. And I think, it helps with a new voice, a young voice at that. This generation is changing. And I think if you can help this guy out, absolutely call Rivers back, right? Get him in the quarterback room.
That's all I was looking for.
You got to go after a stingy coordinator. I think Jim Schwartz is out there right now as a coordinator. I mean, he had the Cleveland Browns rolling at a time during Kevin Stefanski's coach of the year. It was really that defense going out. So I think you go get somebody like that, somebody who's aggressive, gets turnovers, gets sacks, to help Josh, because Lord knows he needs all the help he can get, apparently. I mean, it's not like he's had number one receivers, number one top 5 defenses. Not like he's had it before. So I guess we just reinvent the wheel there. Support.
That top 5 defense that you talk about gave away 13-second victory to Patrick Mahomes. So I'm glad you're top 5, but you can't stop a guy for 13 seconds, bro.
Well, it didn't say they didn't put him in a situation to win it. So I wonder if we go back and watch that game, what are the crucial plays?
Josh Allen obviously put them in position to win. They were leading the game.
It happens,
with 13
man.
seconds.
It happens. But
I think
what
that
happened this year, Tim?
Craziest thing ever. Well,
what happened this year? There's no excuses, man. There's no excuses for that guy. There's none.
Hey, another one. Hey, another breaking news.
Rebuild and rebrand.
The Titans. The Titans just hired Dayball. Did y'all see that?
Did they really? Dayball now.
Coordinator.
Be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Wow.
About 20 minutes ago.
I love it.
Come on, Yankees. That's a great move. He's an offensive guy, so sometimes everybody's not meant to be a head coach. Sometimes you got to go back to your roots, right? Just be a coordinator.
Well, I think he's going to have the keys to the car that whole time, and then Saleh kind of does his own thing. So I think that's going to be a great fit.
Good job. All right, Lauren. You go first. Take us to New England. Drake, May and Company. It looked pretty ugly. Don't take us to New England. I apologize. Take us to Denver, because that's where the game was. It was in Denver, which started out to be like New England. Beautiful day. Denver takes an early lead. They miss on points. New England gets a lead, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, as if the football gods are New England Patriot fans, they dropped a gallon of snow on the field. Man, what did you see in that game that gives you hope that you will win in 2 weeks? Break it down.
Man, look, the conditions are there. You have to lay that down first. They played in a heavy snowstorm, and they were on both teams. So I'm trying to remove my bias here, but both teams' offenses were effective. And people forget it was 7-7. It was a tie game. It wasn't necessarily in the lead. There just wasn't much going on for Denver after the first drive. Stidham couldn't get maybe first quarter. We'll say first quarter because they were putting it to him almost until halftime. When the weather changed, both teams had to deal with it. I'm just sorry. It's grit. It's grit over stats, man. Drake May won. The Patriots won. He completed 10 out of 21 passes, 86 yards. And if you would have saw the weather, you'd be like, okay. But his legs. People failed all year to talk about his legs. Drake May had 65-plus yards on the ground, okay? It was like 67, but he took a couple knees. We'll take it back. And he scored the only TD for the Patriots. 6-yard keeper. Plus his big game plays, he still threw the ball. He played well, in my opinion, for the weather. And if you watch the game, in those moments, he handles it. He processes information very quickly. He makes decisions when he has to put the team on his back by holding the ball. And the defense for the Broncos shouldn't be upset. You know what I mean? They did what they could do. You didn't have a quarterback. There was no offense. We played almost like chess, and we knighted we moved the rook over. It was a barrier. So we just backed down, and Patriots defense handled business. So the defense is now on under scope, right? Everyone saw our defense is good. I don't know how y'all feel about it, what y'all saw. It's hard to remove my bias, but the defense for the Patriots is good. And we say defense wins championships, right? But we got a guy driving our bus too. Okay, we got a guy.
I'll say this, and I'll hand it over to Brandon and think what he thought, see what he thinks about the game. But I would say two things shocked me about the game from the Denver side was, number one, Sean Payton being so conservative. I really didn't see him being that conservative, even with Stidham back there, because all the talk from all the pundits, and I would agree, is, look, you got a backup quarterback. Don't hand off on first and second down and throw on third and long, right? Let's try to throw on first down. How about some screens on first down? How about some quick game on first down? How about taking some shots on second and short, things like that? And Sean Payton didn't do any of that before the snow came. And so to me, not taking the points early and then being that conservative didn't give them a chance to do anything. Yes, that defense from New England played very well, but to me, the Broncos' offensive game plan was extremely simple.
He emptied the clip.
That bothered me. Brandon, what did you think?
He emptied the clip. Drive one.
Oh, my gosh. I thought there was more in the clip. I thought you could have put another clip in the magazine. Do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think, kudos to the Patriots for just being good on all phases. I thought, Sean Payton, to a degree, called kind of a little bit of a cocky game instead of taking the points, especially when you could have a 10-point lead, because essentially that's what haunted you for the remainder of the game for the last two quarters. I thought Drake May, man, showed a lot of flashes, poise in the pocket, willingness to attack when he needed to. His legs were very valuable to this entire thing. And also, he's still learning, when not to be hero. I thought he made a great pass to Max Hollins that really kind of broke the game out when during the snow globe that allowed them to get some points. But essentially, man, I mean, this guy has showed you all different phases of his game, and he's remained poised despite it being ugly. I mean, he's got 15 sacks, 6 fumbles, and 2 turnovers. But outside of that, man, I mean, he's just finding a way to make plays, sustain drives. I thought Sean Payton really didn't attack the way he should have, and I will agree with Tim on that, especially when the snow globe came in, dude. You got to attack vertically, right? These DBs can't adjust. They're mostly shuffling while you got the advantage, man. Air the ball out, maybe get a couple of PIs or some different play. Let your receivers make plays. I thought when you're running, man, you get super conservative because there's not a lot of much that you can do when you got snow and you're shuffling around. But, man, the Patriots showed greatness on all 3 phases, and now they're back in another bowl in this the 4th decade of them being in the Super Bowl. It's crazy. So that's mine.
Yeah, it is nuts. It's not fair that you guys go on a dominant run for however many years that Brady was there and then take a little break and absolutely suck, and then all of a sudden back in the Super Bowl 7 years later.
I think it is fair, man. It goes to show how good their ownership is, their organization.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think everybody needs to tailor from it.
I have not heard complaints from a lot of 49ers fans because they get it. They know what it is.
I get it, man. Y'all show excellence.
Get there. Everybody else a little salty.
Robert Kraft is a better owner than Jerry Jones, even though Jerry proclaims that he is the best and he wants to go out with the most Super Bowl wins. I'll tell you what, the Patriots win this one. Boy, we're going to be stuck with Jerry for a long time trying to catch up. And I don't think we can.
Coach Vrabel knows, man. He's got that championship pedigree, man. I mean, he's been a part of 3 of them. And he took the Titans to a conference championship. I mean, he understands.
He's got an opportunity.
These games, man. He's got a lot of experience going into this game and knowing how to minimize the emotions and the distractions. I think he'll
be the first. He'll be the first coach and player for the same organization.
That's great.
What do you all think, you QB huddlers out there watching the show now, what do you think about Sean Payton? Was he conservative? Should he have taken the points? Let us know in the comments. I want to know what everyone's thinking, but to me, that conservative game plan allowed for the Patriots to do what they do best. Pin their ears back, and let Drake May go until the snow hit. Brandon, take us to Seattle, because we had one for the ages. We had the kind of castaway quarterback, right? He's been, 5 franchises now compared to Matthew Stafford. 2 franchises, already been to a Super Bowl, already won one, probably going to get the MVP this year. What a game that we had all the way to the bitter end. But this is your division. So tell us what happened.
Man, it's not probably. He locked that in. I mean, that dude has been dialed all year. I mean, I think he's got 8 touchdown passes to no picks in the playoffs. He had an incredible run. It's just unfortunate, man, when everybody can go back to this. I think the game-changing moment was the 4th down where they decided to go for it instead of take the points. I mean, right now the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. So Sam handled it real well. The quarterbacks did their job of, minimizing damage. I don't think either of them threw a pick, and 6 touchdowns between both of them. But, man, Seattle's got a team that is just gritty. They're fired up. If you go back to the very beginning when Mike McDonald got this job, he painted and visualized this picture for him in the team meetings. And if you see this, it's out there. It's a big clip. And he goes around visualizing, hey, I want you guys to visualize being here in the NFC title game in January in the number 1 seed, playing for a Super Bowl. We really want you guys to build not only as a team, but individually. We're trying to get you guys to another level. And I was like, man, that speaks volumes, because it's cliche for everyone to say, hey, our goal is to get to the Super Bowl, but to actually do it and to actually build these young men without big, heavy contracts. A Sam Darnold, this is his 15, this may be his last shot. But hey, as a 49er fan, you can't do nothing but respect it. We don't like them. We always have great games, but if there's anything about it, the NFC West is the toughest division in football. It's not close. Okay. So kudos to the Seahawks. I don't like to talk about them too much in good graces, but hey, they got it done, man. They got it done. They were efficient. Kenneth Walker really ran very well, showed he could be a number 1 back without Charbonnet in the backfield with a torn ACL, man. I just thought it was a battle, and it ended well. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it was a battle. Lo, your team has to take on the Seattle Seahawks. I know that you watched that game from a scout point of view. You had to. What did you see in that game? How did it break down to you?
Man, we play that style of football. The Patriots play that style of football, okay? I've been watching them all year. It's a great matchup. Fans probably won't like it. I see it be a hard-nosed, gritty, grind the clock, not a lot of possessions. And that's probably going to be, and that's how we played all year. We just don't feel like we're going to get a lot of possessions. You've got to capitalize on them. It's more so not actually getting a lot. But the Seattle's going to dominate that ball, man. What I saw from Kenneth Walker is crazy. He is running the ball. He is catching it. But I think, he said it a couple of weeks ago, and we said it again last week. This is the game where not having Charbonnet is going to hurt. That is going to hurt. We got different coaches over here. We know what to dial in for. K9's all they got. You stop that train, and it makes things a lot harder, and it puts a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold. Now, some of the throws Sam Darnold made, oh, man. The one-hander was great. Like, these are where only his guys can get it. He's balling. I'm not going to lie.
He's an explosive player, man, when he needs.
There's just not a lot of pressure, though. There's not a lot of pressure. So, and that's because of the run game. So, I think it's going to be a defensive battle, but I think only one quarterback's more dynamic. I think Drake May has that second gear, that different drive. That is his legs. That's going to change it in this one. So
don't slip on Sam's legs.
I see that.
He ain't using them. Trust me.
Sam's a little bit more athletic than you're giving him credit for. Poor Sammy. Listen, I thought Sam Darnold played outstanding in this game. He was step for step with Matthew Stafford. We all felt pre-game looking at Matthew Stafford, the way he was carrying himself, he was about to go crazy. And that Seattle defense got to him a few times.
He went crazy.
He did. He played very, very well. The fourth down, obviously, they don't get it. Another case of maybe being a little too greedy, outthinking yourself. We saw this in the playoffs too often, right? And the team that did take the points, the New England Patriots, they're in the Super Bowl. The team that did take the points, Seattle, they're in the Super Bowl. I hope Ben Johnson, if no one else learns a lesson, Ben Johnson, please take heed and learn the lesson. You can do whatever you want in the regular season. When we get to the playoffs, points matter at every step. And now we are set. The stage is set. Sam Darnold, can't believe I'm saying this, versus Drake May in Super Bowl 60. And you're right, Lo, as a fan of neither team, I am not interested in this game in one bit, but I will watch it. I will create some sort of narrative in my head that makes me excited to watch the game. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I did it for Sunday's games. I was excited to see the backup quarterback go in and go to the Super Bowl. That failed. Then I was excited for the old man to go out on his horse of a champion. That fell down. So
go for the Seahawks. Go for the Seahawks, please.
For your sake, you better hope I go for the Seahawks.
Please.
Guys, that's going to take us into our next kind of discussion, and not really much of a discussion, but kind of just want to let everybody know where we are, the significance of Drake May playing in this game, because this is our young gun segment. Drake May is just 23 years old, going in his second year in the league, already going to the Super Bowl. One other guy has done this and won, and that's Ben Roethlisberger. He won at 23, second year. He only saw the Super Bowl one more time in his career. Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl in his second year, lost to Joe Montana, Brandon, your Joe Montana, never saw the Super Bowl again. That's it for 23-year-olds. So Drake May, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Number one, to repeat Ben Roethlisberger or never come back again. Can that happen? What do we think of this? Is this tremendous pressure for Drake May at 23, or is this not even a thought in his brain, Brandon?
I don't think this is a lot of pressure on the kid. I think this guy has a really good team behind him. He really is a team-centric guy. It's not like, hey, you're supposed to be Tom Brady right now. He's not asked to do as much, but when he's asked to do it, he does it. And so, there's also some second-year guys that went to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson in his second year had a historic defense. He was very efficient in that year. Patrick Mahomes went to his second Super Bowl in his second year as a starter. Won the MVP. He had Andy Reid. Joe Burrow, same thing. Year two, postseason killer instinct. Finally got over the hump to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Mahomes Invitational. So there's a lot of guys. There's not a lot, but there's a short list that, you're stepping into. Is he young? Yes, but he's very poised. He carries himself a little different. I don't think there's a ton of pressure on him, but it'd be nice to get the first one out of the way, considering all the other quarterbacks that are supposed to be elite and generational talents that have not got there yet. I think having that along, supported with a great coaching staff and organization, I think that's a great start to his career, man. But I don't think it's too much pressure on him. I wouldn't look at it like that.
And Lo, you're just grateful that your second-year quartake is
going
to the Super Bowl.
He's a baby.
I have a feeling, if I could read your mind, what is that? Telepathic? What is that? I don't even know what the word is. Telekinetic? You're going to tell me that this is the beginning of another New England era. Is that correct? Is that how you feel?
It's continuing, of course.
It's not continuing.
It's a passing of a torch.
Okay.
You can, because Dallas is taking a 30. I'm going to drop that nugget in there. They're taking a 30-year break, still living on that same era. But no, this is yes, you're right. It's a new window. It's a new window for us as a Pats fan. You appreciate it. I've learned, because I've listened over the last 6 years, and it is hard to find a quarterback. Yeah. I was babied with one great for 20 years. You see behind me, right? 10 Super Bowl appearances since 2000. It feels great. We're on to the next chapter, and that chapter is Drake May. No different than 49ers going to the Purdy world. The Chiefs, we just witnessed, Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, passing of that torch, and I don't think it was passed. I think it was sitting there for a while, and Drake May relit that thing. So, yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
I love it.
Well,
I love it.
There's been a list of just so we can be on point here. There's a list of 24-year-olds that have also played in the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, David Woodley played in the Super Bowl with the Miami Dolphins. You probably never heard of David Woodley. Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, and Drew Bledsoe all played in their first Super Bowl at the ripe young age of 24. Let me ask you guys, and we'll move on to our hot topics. Let me ask y'all. At 23 years old, Brandon, what were you doing?
I was still in school. I was a senior getting ready to graduate.
Okay. So no Super Bowl appearance.
No Super Bowl.
Lauren, at 23 years old, what were you doing?
I had just moved to Dallas for sure, not playing any football. So
not even playing football. Okay.
I hadn't even started playing semi-professional football yet.
Okay. So at 23, I was fresh home from the military, where I was stationed out in Korea. I was fresh home from there. Met my first wife. Was just having a baby and trying out for the DuPage Eagles semi-pro football team. Certainly not making a Super Bowl appearance. Wow, I can't even imagine what that must be like at 23 years old. Let's move on because we're going to go through these hot topics rapid fire because I want to know your answers. You guys at home, by the way, tell us what you were doing at 23. I don't think you were playing in the Super Bowl, but I want to know. It's crazy to put that into context. Okay, Matthew Stafford. Let's go around the horn here. Matthew Stafford's future. I think he comes back because he doesn't want to end up like that. I think one more year, right? McVay already said if he wants to play, of course he's welcome. I think we get Matthew Stafford for another year. What do you think, Brandon? Low?
Yeah, man, I think you get him for another year. The fact that they made the NFC title game and lost, with 5 seconds left, I think there's an edge there, especially with Devontae being 0-5. I mean, I'm sure Stafford wants to get him one before they both ride out. So I think he does come back because he's playing at a high level. And, man, you know how it is, man. If you feel okay to play, man, you ride until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, and if Devontae Adams wants to stay another year, why not? Lo, what do you think? We get another Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford type of season?
Sure, but as an organization, sorry, you got to start planning for the next. You got to start figuring out what's coming because now people are talking about it, and Stafford is not going to walk away. He'll go out on his shield. He's like one of those type of players. So unless you make plans for, I think they need to talk. Conversation needs to be had. Like, hey, what are we doing? We want you as long as you want to go, but we need to know realistically how long you really want to go. So,
all right.
You might have to waste a draft pick and get some guys in there. I don't know. Who have they been developing? What, Bennett? Stetson Bennett? But
how long do you want to sit there and wait to get your opportunity? Right? How long?
Ask them Packers or Jimmy G. Jimmy G's there. Maybe that's what Jimmy G's been doing.
Yeah, Jimmy G doesn't care to start, man. He'll be a glorified backup forever. I mean, there's no pressure. Stetson Bennett, I mean, there's no pressure. He's teaching
Bennett. Just chill, bro. I made a career out of being a backup.
I think if anything, if he did leave, then they're going to the market to try to get a big-time quarterback. They're not going to go to ground zero. They're going to pick right back where they left off. I don't think
their team is too good, right? They're ready to win.
That defense is young right now. They're young, a little bit naive to an extent. And so with them coming back with no big contracts, I think you really go for that, either that big quarterback or you get Stafford. There's no in between.
Low, Sam Darnold. Let's try to keep this brief. Okay.
Sammy D.
What's the difference? Particularly last year, 14-2, obviously blew up in the playoff game, to this year where he's playing in the Super Bowl. What's the difference between Sam Darnold last year?
Man, Seattle actually believes in him, and I'm gonna tell you why. Seattle thoroughly, it's authentic. The Vikings didn't. They signed Daniel Jones last year. Who was it? Carson Wentz, I think, was in talks, and then he didn't go, and then he ended up coming. So that tells you what was going on. You drafted McCarthy. There was no future there, and when it came big time playing for a job, he becomes selfish, and he played for himself. And I don't think he's doing that this year. I think he got the big deal. He's locked in. He is their franchise quarterback. They bought into him. The scheme fits. He's comfortable. Now, he's been comfortable before, like with the Jets here. We remember it, seeing ghosts. And I don't know if he's seen them yet, but we're hoping to make it see him this week. But that's the difference in situation.
We're going to keep bringing it.
Oh boy. Oh,
yeah. Look here. Look at that rush. You're not comfortable right there. Look, who's he throwing to? Nobody. It might be best.
Okay, we're talking about this like it's like 6 years ago, and he was still a pup.
For sure.
We got to get rid of that narrative.
Can't. Like you said, as of last game?
So what's the difference, Brandon?
Well, I think there's a huge difference, and his footwork is cleaner. His decision-making is faster. He's no longer trying to prove he belongs, but he's playing within the structure. He's got good offensive players. He's got a run game. He's got a defense that's to support him even when the turnovers are there. Why? Because they create turnovers themselves. So to me, this is what happens when confidence catches up to the talent. I mean, he's a very talented player. There's a reason why he was taken number 2 overall. And now the number two overall picks go head to head. I think Sam's doing a great job, man. I have nothing to complain about. Are the ghosts still there? I don't think so. I think if he just plays within himself and continues to throw with the confidence that he has and within the offensive structure, he's fine.
Right.
We haven't seen him.
I agree with
the ghost. You're right.
I agree with both of you. I agree with what both of you said. I'm also going to add situation matters. And the Jets weren't a good football team, right? They just not a good organization top to bottom. He's been around a little bit to other franchises that aren't quite up to snuff. Seattle's always been kind of a franchise that's always good, right? And sometimes they've been great. They get to the Super Bowls, but they very seldom have the Seahawks just been absolute trash. So I think you go there, you've got a good defense, you've got a real good run game behind you. That defense is better than Minnesota's defense was a year ago, by the way. And he doesn't have to do as much here as he had to do anywhere else he's been. So I think situation matters. I think the coaches believe in him. Of course, that's a Michigan head coach. That's a Michigan man this weekend going up against an Ohio State man. We'll talk about that when we get into breaking down the game. But once again, the Big Ten dominate football. But yes, I think the culture matters there in Seattle. I think this is proof that any quarterback, right, if they can play to their potential and be around a good group and the right group of people, can help your team get to the Super Bowl, and that's what I think Sam Darnold has done. Jarrett Stidham.
That's not true, though. Darnold is a top 5 pick. He's expected to do these things.
Okay.
He's expected to do these things. So not any quarterback. Sorry. Not any quarterback. Nope.
Okay.
Even if you're a top pick.
Jarrett Stidham might have been able to get him there if it wasn't for the immense snow. And we thought this would have been a little bit different conversation had things gone differently in the game. But what's next for Jarrett Stidham? Where does he go from here? I would suggest he will stay the number 2 quarterback in Denver and maybe get more reps during the season now, just in case Bo Nix were to get hurt. Brandon, Lowe, where are y'all at with Jarrett Stidham? Anything going on for him?
I think he's a solid QB too. He's trusted in that room. There's a reason why he makes $9 million, even though he didn't throw a pass for 2 years. He stepped in and did what he had to do despite that pick, right? But he's smart enough to keep you competitive. He's not dynamic enough to build around. The thing that really stood out was May's legs versus his. And, he's a guy you trust to stabilize and just kind of hold the thing, but not elevate. So, he's good too.
Okay. What do you think, Lo? You watched the game, of course. Did you get any feeling of Jarrett, or is he still in Denver number 2 next year?
Well, they say he is who we thought he was. No, yeah, we let him go. I forgot he was even there, man. I forgot he was even there. He could be a good number 2 for a certain lock. He seems like a good locker room guy. When he was with the Patriots, there was never any complaining, but I wouldn't even say solid like 2 unless we're talking about off the field things. Performance-wise, I don't want to start him. I would be looking to draft.
Obviously, Sean Payton, as much as he said he was feeling fine about Jared being in the game and he wasn't concerned, that the game plan didn't seem to echo that statement. So, I think if he goes out, balls out, plays great, he might get an opportunity somewhere is what we kind of all thought, but he did not do that. So that brings me to the next question. I've been talking about this for weeks now. Was coaching or quarterback play more important throughout this playoff season? Brandon, coaching or quarterback play was more important during these playoffs?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's hard to be biased towards one. Obviously, coaching matters in crucial playoffs, but coaching to me, they set the floor, and QB play, they set the ceiling. right? Great coaches are going to keep you alive, but great quarterbacking wins you the last 2 games. We
Fair
just
enough.
saw that.
Okay. I'm with you. Lauren? He said a little bit of both. What do you have?
With you. Yeah, he's only with the other side. Man, quarterbacks. What are we talking about? The quarterback play is going to be the most important, no matter what. No matter what, because players have to play, right? And that's the hardest part. The coaches can say they did this. They can actually do this. Coaches can be perfect, but the quarterback can still mess it up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He cannot execute. Yep. He also has the ability to change the game in a good way, right? Like keeping it yourself on a stretch play, booting around a Broncos defender for the first down to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I saw 3 teams lose games because of poor coaching decisions and poor game management throughout these playoffs. I also saw some quarterbacks step up and make plays that enable your team to win. And I also saw some quarterbacks, 2 that come to mind, that fumbled the game away or threw the game away. And Josh Allen and CJ Stroud, both of them gave the game away. Caleb Williams.
What about if men?
I'm not saying Caleb. Listen,
Caleb threw the pick to get the drive. What do you mean?
The Bears
3
game,
turnovers, 3 picks.
The Bears game is one of those 3 games that I talked about that I felt was a loss because of bad coaching decisions and bad game management throughout the game. So I need Ben Johnson to learn the lesson. No, Caleb was fine. Caleb, there's a new jersey out. I saw it today. I think I'm going to get it. It's a Bears jersey, 18, but instead of Williams on the back, it says Iceman, which I think is awesome. Might have to get that. Anyway, Drake May. Lo, we'll start with you. Was this an historic playoff run for him, or were things kind of set up? What do you think?
No, it's the beginning. I think it just ended up here. I think this is Vrabel's year. I think we forget that this is Vrabel's year. This is a Vrabel thing that's happening. All the players reference Vrabel. Diggs said it's the best coach he's ever had. And I bet you if we look up the list of coaches that he's had, there's probably some decent ones in there. But Vrabel's obviously changing the culture in the New England world. It is glimpse, you got glimpses of what was because he was a part of that. But it's different, man. He can relate to these players. Like he said earlier, he's one of those coaches that gets that young buy-in. And every player, I mean, numbers that you don't even know on the roster, they're stoked and fired up for these games because the preparation is there.
I'm confused. You just told me that this playoffs was about quarterbacks. And now the team that's in the Super Bowl, that's your team, you're telling me is there because of the coach.
Well, you didn't let me finish. You said historical playoff run. Historical, this is for Vrabel.
Or you said or.
Okay.
So either way, look at the history in New England. Look at the history in New England. It's a spark to what can be. It's the beginning of something.
Right.
But come on, to say that he's historical quarterback, dude. There's a guy that won 6 Super Bowls over here.
Yeah. No, I know. I asked the question because I've seen it posed as this was historical for Drake May because he's 23 years old and blah 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 blah. What do you think?
For Drake May, but not for the quarterback in New England, right? Drake, this is great for Drake May. He's 23. He's going to be. You already have him with top 2 guys that have been to a Super Bowl, win or lose. Dan Marino and Ben Roethlisberger. I'll take it. I think he'd be like, yeah, that's good company, right? With only guys younger than you being able to do that. So he has a chance. He has an opportunity. He knows he's just humble, man. He's humble in the moments. He's doing everything right. He's doing everything right. He's pissing a lot of people off, and I love it. Okay. I'm here for it.
Not ticking me off, man. He's a good player, but historic run, let's just pump the brakes, man. It's too early for labels. One thing that stands out to me is his composure and toughness. Playing, 3 of the top 5 defenses in the playoffs. I mean, you can't deny that regardless of what it looked like. He still got it done, and he's here. But I also think this really attests to Mike Vrabel and the coaching staff and the organization turnaround. I just think they're exemplifying what they've been taught for years, man, for 20 years, and all they do is win. They win, they find a way. Doesn't matter what it looks like, they're there. And that's a team that's to scare the shit out of you because they're good on all 3 phases and they're very disciplined. So I think it's more kudos to the organization as a whole than it is Drake May.
Okay. I think Drake did what he was asked to do.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this too. We talked about it on Sunday. Drake May wasn't playing great going into the AFC title game. He was having problems with the football. He was fumbling. He was doing some things. And so to me, New England, all these playoffs have been somewhat set up. And when, going into that game without Bo Nix on the other side, playing the Chargers as decimated as they were. Now you still got to go out there and win the game, but to me, it's all been a red carpet ride for the Patriots. Now, will that come to an end in 2 weeks when they play a team that's fully healthy for the first time in these playoffs? When they play a starting quarterback when the game matters? I don't know. Seattle's missing a running back, but as long as you have Walker, I think you're good. Based on what I saw.
I just want to be clear. You're making no excuses right now, right?
There are no excuses.
There's always been something. There's always been something. And I just want to give you Drake's answer to all of these things, okay? Drake made to all these things that have been saying is hold my beat.
Okay.
He's been saying, right? In the wild card round, he had 268 passing yards and a touchdown. He led the team in rushing that, by the way, against your Chargers, top defense. In the divisional round, he played the Texans. He had 3 touchdown passes. Do you know how many times that happened to the Texans all year, including playoffs? Once. One other time. One other time a quarterback did that. That's a dominating performance. I don't care how many fumbles are in there, right? And then the AFC Championship game, he rushed for 65 yards and a touchdown. In a game with his legs in the snow, what else could you do? There wasn't any passes being thrown. All I'm saying is that's postseason impact. I don't want to hear nothing about the weak schedules. I don't hear nothing about who they playing or a script. Bro, they're playing who's in front of them. And now I believe Seattle, aren't they number 4? Weren't they number freaking 4 on the top defenses? I don't know what else we're gonna have to do here. I don't know what else.
Well, I think what should scare is you don't sustain drives very well during this run. I mean, he's under 60% completion this entire
situation,
process.
Man.
Granted, that was a snow globe, so you can throw that out. But if you look at
every single game has been snow. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Every game has been snows. So his stats aren't going to prove the story. You got to go to regular season stats. We're playing in
He hasn't thrown for a 300-yard game yet, has he?
He's had it in the regular season. Yeah, not in the playoffs.
I don't think he has.
Yeah, regular season. Yeah,
what was the moment for you,
Well, no, he threw for 380. Woo!
In that Denver game. 5. In that Denver game, to me,
that was 250 and 5.
The moment that changed the game is when it snowed. As soon as it snowed, and I believe that y'all were up 10-7 when the snow started to fall, by the way. Once that snow came to me, that was the game-changing moment. Game was over. What was the game-changing moment?
Opportunity perform for me, the game-changing moment was the very end. It wasn't over until it was over. And Drake May called his number moment after moment, whether it was the flea flicker, it's still in his hands, whether it was a third down completion here and there to try to sustain drives. He takes those moments, puts it on his back, and does what he needs to do by making the right decision, not by just running around or, waving the ball around like we see these other guys. No, he made the right decision. A naked
Shots
boot.
Fired at Josh Allen. Wow.
Absolutely. That's who they compare this guy to. Mac Hollins, Stephon Diggs. That sounds like Josh Allen's trash, right? And Drake May just took both of them to the Super Bowl. Well, that's his receiver.
To be fair, Diggs had a very poor attitude in Buffalo, but Vrabel will not deal with that. He will not put up with that.
We embrace it.
He hasn't had it in New England. He hasn't had it.
He expresses himself.
Brandon, what was your game-changing moment Sunday in Denver?
Game-changing moment for me was the field goal when they didn't take the points, and then you start to really press a little bit and kind of coast, play a little conservative to a degree, and now you're in the snow globe, and now you got to find a way to get 3 points. You missed 2 field goals, didn't work out in your favor, even though the defense did play pretty well. You just can't continuously give the ball back, and I think that pivotal moment where it was 7-0, 9 minutes in the second quarter, you didn't take the points, and the snow globe happened. That was crucial because now you could at least go into overtime, and hell, whoever's got the best kicker can win because we can't move the ball. So that was my moment. I think the game-changing moment for Seattle and the Rams were when the guy dropped muff the punt. That killed it because that just kept them ahead just a little bit, even though they got back and drove the ball down the field and scored like it was nothing. I think when you miss those opportunities, those crucial little moments with special teams, that killed them. And they fired their special team coach in December because of this kind of stuff. So came back to bite them. Got to clean it up.
And watching that game, even with the lead that Seattle had, I always thought the Rams would win, right? But when they didn't get that fourth down, when they were driving and they felt like this is our opportunity to take the lead, when Seattle stopped them, that's when first thought in my mind was, oh man, Seattle's about to win the game. Damn, because I believed in Matthew Stafford and the Rams until that moment. And when Seattle stopped that, I was like, yep, that's probably the end of that. When I felt like take the points, right? Tie the game, whatever the case. Lo, what was the game changer for you in Seattle watching that game when you knew that you were going to play the Seahawks in 2 weeks?
It was the same one. It was the same one. It was the fourth down. Okay. I was like, this is it. It's it. That's all I could give you, bro. I watched the game. It was.
When you saw
it was crucial.
Like, damn, that was
if you knew football. See, a lot of people stayed tuned in a little further, but if you knew football and you knew how this was about to play out, and you have the ability to see far enough, right? So that could be breakdown too in the offseason. We need to start letting these QB huddlers know. How'd y'all know it was over? I was still cheering for another minute and a half. Yeah, well, the math don't.
When they missed that and they couldn't do nothing, I was like, it's over, bro.
Yeah, and then Seattle gets a couple first downs, and you're like, oh god, they're not going to get the ball. Matthew Stafford's not going to have enough. He got the ball back.
He still tried. Jeez,
because why would he go for it on fourth? I was like, yeah, he's just still been down by one. You still got to go down there. And they couldn't stop him. They could not stop him.
They couldn't.
Yeah.
So. And you're right.
What would it matter?
They're still down by one. So it's not quite like the other two games where field goals give you a lead in that moment. The field goal, you're still down one. So good games, though. Good moment to me. That Seattle game started off a little oh-hum and then caught steam in the second quarter. And then the fourth quarter was just so tense and both teams volleying back and forth for position to score, and neither team could get it done. And Seattle walks away with the win. What a game. What a moment for the Seahawks and their fans. We talked a lot about coaches. There's coaching changes. Now, we've seen in this game here 2 new head coaches with their teams playing in a Super Bowl. So I ask you guys, who's the next guy next year? Who's the coach that's taken over a franchise that is poised to make a run? I'll go last. But who do you think it is, Brandon? Give me a coach that you think is going to change the culture and make a run next year.
Man.
It's tough.
I think it's Ben Johnson. I really do.
Like he's already done that though.
No. I mean they're there. You know what I mean. But his mentality, we got to do it all over again. I think that stood out.
I think that stood out,
man. Yeah, I think Ben Johnson and that young cast, and you don't have a high end deal with Caleb Williams yet. You have the opportunity to run it with these young quarterbacks with solid defenses, and they're only on their rookie deals. It's time to make the run. So I think Ben Johnson in year 2 could really, really pull it out.
All right, Lauren, who's your head coach? Who's your next guy?
Man, I want to be nice, but no, I'm not going to be nice. I'm going bold. I think it's Mr. Saleh. I think it's easy in that division with everything that's happening over there, right? Texans kind of melting down. The Colts trying to figure it out. They think they got the recipe, but you only did 8 games, and it wasn't sustainable due to injury and all the other stuff, obviously. But I think that the Jags being the most competitive, and we're not sold. They just had a good year. Now the film's out. Now the tape's out of what you're doing over there. I think it's wide open there, and I feel like, Cam Ward could have a good year too.
Sketchy division.
So it is. That's why I said the Titans, he could turn it around, even if he goes close to 500. If he goes,
what do you guys at home think? Who's the next coach to make a run? I'm going to give you an older gentleman. I look at the AFC North, and I look at the Ravens with a new coach who you just outed, an 18-year coach that won you a Super Bowl. I look at the Bengals, who are a mess, right? Salary cap mess. All the money's on the offensive side of the ball. And then I look at the Browns that are a dumpster fire of an organization. And then I see Mike McCarthy signing with the Steelers and reuniting with his Super Bowl quarterback, Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay. And the Steelers got to the playoffs this year. It was a struggle. Mike Tomlin effect, most likely. But now they have a chance in the offseason to put some more pieces together, right? Shore up the defense just a little bit more because that's what Pittsburgh is known for. Maybe get another weapon or two on offense. I look for Mike McCarthy and that Pittsburgh Steelers team to really shake things up in the AFC and be a true contender year one of Mike McCarthy being in Pittsburgh. Because I think this is a short-lived operation for him. Probably the shortest tenure of any Steelers coach we've ever seen. But I think this is a team that's ready to win now with Aaron, and that's why they went out and got Mike McCarthy. So I look for Mike to go make a big splash with the Steelers next year.
Their relationship wasn't the best. It didn't end on the best of terms over there with how to draft.
Maybe they both grown up.
Maybe. And I can't
forget.
I gotta give
he got the best out of Aaron Rodgers.
Right?
The
grass hasn't
been.
The grass wasn't greener for either one of them
He
on the other side. So, Mike
changed everything about his game.
Yeah, no success past post Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers has had no success post Mike McCarthy. So you would think maybe this is the magic recipe. It could be like chocolate chip cookies.
I think the Giants with Harbaugh are also set for a run. The Cowboys divisions could be up for grabs too. So the Giants are young. They got a good D.
I worry about the Giants. But I didn't want to talk about the Giants today. I don't want to talk about John Harbaugh.
You should be worried about that entire division.
I'm
worried about mine.
Who do you guys – you're watching. Who's your next coach to make a big splash? Let us know. I like all of our answers. We all had different answers. I hope you're right, Brandon. I hope Ben Johnson continues.
I think he is, man. I think he's a different turnaround, dude. I think he does the same thing Dan Campbell does and try to get him into the NFC title game. I do.
I like it. One last thing we got to talk about, and we're only talking about this because this game is happening this weekend. I don't think we're having a Saturday morning show because we'll go deep into the Super Bowl matchup next week. But the Pro Bowl happens this weekend. I'm bringing this up because Shedeur Sanders with 10 interceptions and I think it was an 18, finished with an 18 QBR, is now a Pro Bowl player. Guys, the Pro Bowl has been, in my opinion, a mess for at least a decade. Ever since Sean Taylor knocked out the punter, we haven't seen another Pro Bowl. What do you guys like about the Pro Bowl? What do you dislike about it? I'm going to tell you, I really like the flag game. That was fun. But otherwise, the Pro Bowl no longer holds any interest to me because it's not like it once was, where they actually played at least for a full quarter of football to get that check. Low, you might not even know what the old Pro Bowls look like. You're so young.
Man, yes, I do. Yes,
what do you like? What do you don't like, man? Where are you at with this?
Man, I like the players that get to chill, they get to show their personality. I kind of like the new Pro Bowl because it's what it was growing to anyway. So I feel like now they're just like buying into it now. The skills competitions, those are fun. Like that's kind of the best part. I would like to make what it is now just competitive again. If the fans don't care who wins, or if the players don't care who wins, and the fans aren't going to care who wins either. So maybe some incentive there. I don't know. Contract incentives are cool. Maybe a rookie versus veterans. Go look at the NBA All-Star game. Let's steal some stuff out of that. QB accuracies, those are fun. The releases, dodgeball was fun. I'm not opposed to them. It's a popularity contest, I think, at this point. At least it kind of gives the fans some of what you want to see. But oh man, I wish we could have the old games. But with injuries and stuff now, there's no way.
Well, see, and I don't know if either of you remember, Brandon, you're a little bit older, but the Pro Bowl used to be played after the Super Bowl, and so if you're Peyton Manning and you just won the Super Bowl, you go to the Pro Bowl the next week, and now you're hanging out with Drew Brees, who you just played against, right? Because he's on the Pro Bowl for the NFC, and they're mic'd up, and you get to see those interactions. And now we play in between the Super Bowl, so none of the Super Bowl participants show up to the Pro Bowl. I can't look forward to it, Brandon. How about you? Do you look forward to it anymore?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of it anymore. I remember growing up and earlier in the 90s and got to see the QB challenges with Brett Favre and Marino.
Those were fun. Yeah.
I mean, those guys, I think you bring the quarterback challenges back into full effect. I also think you bring back the fastest man competition. I think that's always good. Try to keep these guys healthy as much as they can because this is a big and fast game. If we're not going to go full speed, we don't even need to play it. I don't like the flag. I think, man, I cringe when I see those players out on the field. I'm like, damn, can we just, keep it skills based? But overall, I really feel like this has turned into more of a popularity contest like the All-Star game and whatnot. And some guys are on there that it could be a little controversial on that despite, their season. And I never look forward to this anymore. It used to be so cool to watch 98 quarterback challenge, Jim Harbaugh and Favre. And you just see, he used to grow up watching those guys and see who can throw the furthest and all that. And I thought that was pretty cool. So if anything, they need to emphasize on bringing that back, because if they do, they're going to get more people to attract. So
you can't even pick AFC and NFC football teams in Madden no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they don't even have these teams built like
I
that.
remember the glory
Could you
days.
imagine? Yeah, AFC, Drake May and his receivers are, just pick them, anyone from the AFC.
You can make a big flag team if you want to do that. Just, hey, have your core 7-on-7, all teams. And have a 32-man, have a bracket. Who's the best? Who's the best core?
I like it. Yeah, the Pro Bowl is I do enjoy some of the stuff that you'll see throughout the week, like a couple days leading up, where they're in the competition set and they're talking mess to each other and they're having a good time. And to your point, Lo, you get to see some of their personality. But otherwise, man, I miss it because even though they wouldn't play hard for those 3 quarters, right? They would be out there playing. It was kind of fun, wide open. But that 4th quarter, boy, everybody strapped up and was playing for that $50,000 or whatever it was that they would get. And now we just don't get that. And I don't know. I can't look forward to it. And it's not after the Super Bowl anymore. So you used to have something to look forward to, even though the Super Bowl it's like, I still got the Pro Bowl. Nope, that was last week. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I don't like change. Hey, folks, make sure you get yourself a W today. It's a work day. It's Tuesday. We're coming out of the lunch hour. You're going to be sleepy. So go ahead and order yourself a W, right? You can go to w.gg/discount/QB Huddle, or you can click on the little barcode thing that we have right there with the little StreamYard ducky thing on it right there. Yep, you can click on there and you can get the same discount. Make sure you get some of this so you can be productive at work. I know I need it because I need to be productive all afternoon. Before we go and let everyone go until next week when we start to really dive into this big game, Lo, Brandon, any last words from you? Especially you, Lo, is the only one that stands alone with a team in the mix.
Yeah, man. Go Patriots. We're here in Super Bowl. I don't know what else to tell everybody. I've been telling everybody all year long. I said in the beginning, we're here. We got the best, I would say the best defense. We got the best everything, okay? Best special teams. We got the best quarterback. I'm biased, okay? I don't care. And we're going to show it. We're going to show it. We're going to show it. I'm here. I would have been here even if we lost.
You can be biased for 2 weeks. We'll let you.
Oh, I gotta be. Yeah, and then I gotta remove the hat and I'll talk, regular quarterbacks. But right now we're talking the elite. Y'all go watch Drake. May be great. The weather's gonna be good. Brandon's been. You're gonna see.
You know where Brandon's been. Look at the hat. My man's been fishing for 2 weeks after the 49ers lost. He's got the bass.
All about fishing. You already got.
Hey, I go fishing every year, bro. And I've never been fishing in real life, but every year there's.
Boat was ready.
See, I just embrace the horns now.
Yeah, look, he's ready for the send off. That's all.
Hey,
I'm out of here.
Are the horns coming your way, Lo?
That's right.
Not my way. You see, we're not panicking.
That's going to do it for this beautiful Tuesday. If you're still in Dallas and snowed in, so am I. We'll get out sooner or later. I swear it's going to get above freezing for a couple days, and we can actually leave our homes. Thank you to our producer, B. Franklin, Brandon Franklin, New Era Media. Thank you to All Access Football, and, of course, to Fan Stream Sports. Until next Tuesday, keep those chains moving, and we'll be seeing you.